Good evening, everyone. We welcome you all to today's open mic event on the topic Gender Equality in Education Beyond He, She, and They in Indian Education. Me, Bhumika Garg,
And I, Archie Singhal.
are the host for today's event. The event is conducted by the anchoring team of Sarkari School.
So, Sarkari School is an initiative of the We Citizens Foundation. Our motive is to create stories of heroes who don't wear capes but bring forth a positive change through their hard work. Our focus is on imparting education to children who would stand up to be the successful citizens of the future. There are numerous teachers and some good-willed people who have come up to help in the field of education. And Sarkari School is one such platform where we organize conferences and meetings to keep spreading the good deed.
I would like to begin with a quote by Sonia Sotomayor. She says, "Until we get equality in education, we won't have an equal society. Gender is a social construct, not a biological one, and discrimination on this basis is consequently difficult to assess and address, especially in the case of education. Gender equality requires an approach that ensures that girls and boys, women and men not only gain access to and complete education cycles, but are empowered equally in and through education."
Yeah, so now we'll come to the rules of the event. First, all the participants will be given maximum 4 minutes to speak. Second, the piece can be bilingual, that is, the participants can speak either in Hindi or English as per their convenience. Third, no derogatory words or slurs are allowed. Fourth, all the participants will have to keep their camera on throughout the event. And last, the participants have to be clear and the material should be original.
Now I would like to call our moderators, Shreyal and Mansi, and they will take the event forward.
Thank you, Bhumika. A very warm good evening to all. Today, I'll be moderating this open mic event, and my name is Mansi. Okay, so we'll start with our first participant. Firstly, I request you all to please switch on your cameras. Thank you so much. Now I request Ravi Kumar sir. He's from a government school in Bihar, and he's going to present his views on the topic gender equality. Hi, sir. So can you hear me?
हेलो
Yeah. Yes.
क्या मेरी आवाज आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी सर, हाँ जी, बिल्कुल सर. सर, आप अपने बारे में एक छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन दे दीजिए और उसके बाद जब भी आपको कंफर्टेबल फील हो आप स्टार्ट कर दीजिए.
जी पहले तो आज के इस सेशन में जुड़े हुए सभी महानुभावों का आभार प्रकट करता हूं कि आज इस जेंडर इक्वालिटी नामक विषय पर आधारित वार्ता में हमें आमंत्रित किया गया है. खुशी की बात है कि हमारे सभी एंकर टीम में सभी बच्चियां, सभी स्त्रियां और जो महिलाएं जुड़ी हुई हैं वे कहीं ना कहीं एक जेंडर को प्रेजेंट कर रही है और उनके बोलने के तरीके में जो आत्मविश्वास झलक रहा है वो कहीं ना कहीं जो जेंडर इक्वालिटी है उसको दर्शाता है. तो सबसे पहले मैं अपना परिचय दे दूं. मेरा नाम रवि रोशन कुमार है और मैं बिहार के दरभंगा जिले के अंतर्गत एक सरकारी विद्यालय में शिक्षक हूँ. मैं प्राथमिक कक्षा के बच्चों को पढ़ाता हूँ और शिक्षा में जब हम लैंगिक समानता की बात करते हैं तो यह कोई नया टॉपिक नहीं है. हाँ, यह है जरूर है कि अभी आजकल शिक्षकों को प्रशिक्षण के दौरान इस टॉपिक को उनके सिलेबस में जोड़ दिया गया है, परंतु अगर देखा जाए तो शिक्षा में लैंगिक समानता प्राचीन काल से ही हम एक मुद्दे के रूप में देखते आ रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है कि मेरी बात आप तक पहुंच पा रही है. मैं आप लोगों को सुनाई दे रहा हूँगा. मैं अपनी बात को कंटिन्यू करूं?
जी बिल्कुल सर.
तो मैं हिंदी में ही बातचीत करना थोड़ा सहज महसूस कर रहा हूं, इसलिए मैं हिंदी में ही बातचीत कर रहा हूं. तो शिक्षा में लैंगिक समानता की जब बात होती है तो पहले प्रश्न उठता है कि आखिर समानता की बात क्यों? निश्चित रूप से असमानता रही होगी और लंबे समय से हम इस असमानता को महसूस कर रहे होंगे और तभी जाके समाज का एक वर्ग या फिर कुछ शोधार्थी इस बात को महसूस किए होंगे कि शिक्षा में लैंगिक समानता की बात की जाए और इसे एक मुद्दा बनाया जाए. और यह आज के समय में एक ज्वलंत मुद्दा है। जैसे दलित विमर्श है, उसी प्रकार से नारी विमर्श के अंतर्गत जो शिक्षा में लैंगिक समानता है, यह एक प्रमुख मुद्दा है। देखिए, आप इस सेशन के माध्यम से बहुत सारे बच्चे भी इस सेशन को देख रहे होंगे, सुन रहे होंगे। तो मैं एक शिक्षक होने के नाते मैं आपको बताऊंगा तो आप अचंभित हो जाएंगे कि आपके सिलेबस में भी कई ऐसे उदाहरण मिल जाएंगे जिसको अब तक आप गौर नहीं कर पा रहे होंगे, लेकिन जैसे मैं कुछ उदाहरण दूंगा आप उसे महसूस करेंगे कि कहीं न कहीं लैंगिक असमानता है। जैसे आप अगर व्याकरण की किताब उलट के देखें, आप उसके अंतर्गत कोई क्रिया का उदाहरण देख रहे हैं, तो आप देखेंगे उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि राधा खेल रही है, राम पढ़ रहा है ना? तो इसमें राधा खेल रही है, राम पढ़ रहा। अब इसमें भी असमानता आपको दिखेगा कि लड़का को अच्छे कामों में, इनफैक्ट अच्छा बुरा तो कोई काम नहीं होता, बट यहाँ पे दिखाना है कि पुरुषवादी जो सोच है, उस व्याकरण को लिखने वाले या प्राचीन काल से जो एक स्टेरियोटाइप जो उदाहरण देते आ रहे हैं लोग, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं लैंगिक असमानता का झलक दिखता है। कक्षा में भी आप जब किसी कहानी को पढ़ें, किसी उदाहरण को पढ़ते हैं, तो जो पुल्लिंग शब्द हैं वैसे उदाहरण आपको अधिक मिलते हैं। ता, करता है, जाता है ना? तो मेरा मानना है कि नई शिक्षा नीति में भी इन सब चीज़ों को समावेशित किया गया है और आने वाले दिनों में मुझे ऐसा ज्ञात हुआ है कि 2021 में फिर से एक नई जो है न्यू फ्रेमवर्क तैयार होने वाला है एजुकेशन का, एनसीएफ बनेगा, जिस प्रकार से 2005 में नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क बना था। तो इस पर भी चर्चा होगी और पाठ्यचर्या जब बन जाता है तो उसी अनुरूप फिर पाठ्यक्रम बनता है और फिर तदुपरांत हम पाठ्य पुस्तक में कुछ बदलाव करते हैं। यूं तो पाठ्य पुस्तक में प्रत्येक वर्ष बदलाव कर पाना संभव नहीं होता है, लेकिन एक लंबी अवधि के बाद, इतने विचार विमर्श के बाद, मैं आशा करता हूं कि शिक्षा जगत से जुड़े हुए जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं वो इन सब चीज़ों पे गौर करें। खास करके जो नई पीढ़ी है उनमें इस बात का संचार अब न हो कि लड़का और लड़की में कोई फर्क। सामाजिक रूप से जो दायित्व दे दिया गया है यही जेंडर इक्वलिटी को दर्शाता है। अदरवाइज बायोलॉजिकल जो हम लोग डिफरेंसेस देखते हैं उसको हम जेंडर के तहत देखेंगे ही नहीं। हमें देखना है कि इन उदाहरणों के माध्यम से कैसे हम बच्चों में आत्मविश्वास जगाएं और उनमें इस भावना का संचार हो कि वे समझ पाएंगे कि शिक्षा में किसी प्रकार का, सिर्फ शिक्षा में ही नहीं, किसी क्षेत्र में लड़कियां कम नहीं हैं। और ये बातें उनके मन में तब होंगी जब वे बचपन से इन उदाहरणों को पढ़ेंगे, जब यह भी पढ़ेंगे कि राधा पढ़ रही है और राम खेल रहा है। राधा शरारत नहीं कर रही है, राधा अच्छी लड़की है, राम बुरा लड़का है। इस तरह के उदाहरण देने से फिर हम एक समय आएगा जब हम फिर जेंडर इक्वालिटी में लड़कों को, तो इस तरह से हमें इस बात का ध्यान रखना है कि कोऑर्डिनेशन हो, सामंजस्य हो और हमें उन तमाम नकारात्मक चीज़ों को तलाश करके जहाँ तक संभव हो हम जेंडर इनइक्वालिटी को तलाश करें और उससे फिर समानता की तरफ ले जाएं। मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारी बातें हैं कहने को और मैं इन सब मामलों में जो बातें आप लोगों तक पहुंचा रहा हूं, बहुत कम बातें हैं, बहुत सारी बातें कहने सुनने को अभी बाकी है। तो आज के इस ओपन माइक सेशन में मैं बाकी वक्ताओं से भी बहुत कुछ सुनना चाहूँगा। हमसे कई जूनियर भी होंगे, कई हमसे सीनियर भी होंगे, तो मुझे कुछ सीखने का और समझने का मौका मिले। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद टीम सरकारी स्कूल। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू। और आपने एक बहुत ही अच्छा एग्जाम्पल दिया है कि हमें शुरुआत बिल्कुल अपने पढ़ाई से ही स्टार्ट करनी चाहिए, बुक्स में जो चीजें हैं उन्हीं को इम्प्रूव करने से चाहिए। तो सर बहुत ही अच्छा एग्जाम्पल था वो। नेक्स्ट अप वी हैव राशि एंड शी इज फ्रॉम MGD गर्ल्स स्कूल एंड शी इज आल्सो गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट हर व्यूज ऑन जेंडर इक्वालिटी। थैंक यू राशि।
To please turn on your cameras before saying. Everyone, please turn on your cameras. Thank you.
Yes, am I visible and audible?
Yeah, Rashi. Just give a brief introduction about yourself and then whenever you are comfortable, just speak. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Rashi Goel and I'm in 6th grade. I'm from MGD Girls School, Jaipur. Okay, so now I'll start with my speech. We have begun to raise daughters more like sons, but few have the courage to raise our sons more like our daughters. Good evening, everyone. Here, I'm Rashi Goel from MGT Gold School, and I feel privileged to present my speech on gender equality. Equality or non discrimination is a state where every individual gets equal opportunities and rights. Every individual of the society yearns for equal status, opportunities, and rights. However, it is a general observation that there exists lot of discrimination between humans. Discrimination exists because of culture differences, geographical differences, and gender. Inequality based on gender is a concern that is prevalent in the entire world. Even in the 21st century, across globe, men and women do not enjoy equal privileges. Gender equality means providing equal opportunities to both men and women in political, economical, education, and health aspects. A nation can progress and attain higher development growth only when both men and women are entitled to equal opportunities. Women in the society are often concerned and are refrained from getting equal rights as men to health, education, decision making, and economic independence in terms of wages. The social structure that prevails since long in such a way that girls do not get equal opportunities as men. Women generally are the houseworking in the family. Because of this, women are mostly involved in household activities. There are lesser participation of women in higher education, decision making roles, and leadership roles. This gender disparity is a hindrance in the growth rate of a country. When women participate in the workforce, increases the economical growth rate of the country. Gender equality increases the overall well-being of the nation along with the economic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashi. And I thought you get a lot of knowledge at this age. You are just in sixth class, so I feel very proud of you. So thank you for participating.
Thank
And
you.
next up, we have Abira. She's from Matride School, and she is also presenting a speech. Thank you, Abira. And just to give a brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah, sure. First of all, a very pleasant morning to everyone. It feels nice to have this conversation at this point of time. I think we should all start with a healthy conversation about gender, especially since we have arrived at this point of time. I would just like to present my opinions. It's not like I have prepared a speech. These are just some thoughts which I have on my mind, and I'm really glad to share them with everyone who is present here. And so I'm Abira. I'm a student of Martyr School. I'm studying in class 11 and I'm a science student. And this is just the least bit of introduction I'm going to provide. And I think it's better to get to know each other by knowing each other's point of view. So I'll start. First of all, when we are talking about gender equality, it is important to acknowledge that gender does not only exist in binaries. Gender contains multitudes, and I think science has also acknowledged that gender does not exist in binaries. There are multiple genders, some which we do not know about, and some which we are familiar with because we see it in the people around us or we have read about it. So, like, if we are to achieve gender equality, then first we must start with the acknowledgement of genders and how it can contain multitudes, and it can only be achieved with acceptance that yes, gender is a spectrum and not essentially two opposite ideals. Now, when we are talking about equality for me, it exists in two aspects. One is equality of treatment, and the other is equality of opportunity. Now, most importantly, let's start from gender in school education. So like some of us attend co-ed schools, and like me, some of us go to traditional convents and we only interact with one certain gender. So I am knowledgeable about how the gender that surrounds me, that is the one which I'm familiar with, works. And I have not interacted with as many genders to know what are their concerns, their distresses, or what they want to converse about. So we have to interact with each other and talk about gender to raise awareness, and there we can find the points like what distresses us, so we can achieve equality by working on those points. Now from school level, I think gender equality can only be achieved by the encouragement of positive gender roles. Now, I say this because it is not possible to demolish gender roles completely, because we live in a society. We see that certain people in our households of certain gender perform certain activities. Some of our mothers are working, but they still cook at our house, and there are some elders who think that okay, it's okay that the woman is cooking. But personally, I think we also have some doubts, like is it really okay that what they are saying? We have doubts in our mind that should I really do this? But we see that all the other people of our gender, they are also, wearing makeup, thinking of marriage or trying to cook, and they have boyfriends and everything. So we feel that okay, if I'm a bit different, I'm abnormal, I don't particularly like doing what my gender is doing. So I think first of all, we should have the proper counseling that makes us get rid of the patriarchal mindset and the internalized misogyny, so that it does not affect our livelihoods afterwards, and we can continue to work on our livelihoods. And this is something which really concerns me a lot, and it is related to clothing. So gender equality should exist through school uniforms first and foremost. Now in India, we do not have that problem of wearing whatever we want to school. We have a particular set of uniforms. Some are designed by the National Institute of Design, government school uniforms, they are approved. We don't have anything much we can do about it. But in private schools, I feel that uniforms must be as gender neutral as possible, because this is the point of time where we should explore gender. We should become comfortable with gender. So if we are given a particular streamlined outfit or like this and everything, we feel that okay, do I really fit in this dress? We are not capable of thought that okay, what if I wore something which is not what I'm provided with? So I think at this point of time, gender should be explored, and in schools and in workplaces also, where there is a chance of education, we can explore gender, so we can find the gender we are most comfortable with. And it shouldn't be the gender, or necessarily shouldn't be the gender that we are assigned at birth. Thirdly, I would like to say that gender equality can once again be achieved through proper sanitary practices and through knowing our bodies the most. I say this because I'm a science student. I study about illnesses, gynecological illnesses, and how in our country the reproductive health aspect is completely glossed over. And it is one of the key points that can bring gender equality to our country, and it can be achieved through education. In our country, there are still women who use copper teas, and it causes intrauterine infections, and there are still people who encourage the wearing of these copper teas. And this is primarily because we are not guided properly, where at a stage we have the chance to be educated about proper reproductive practices. And I think this is somehow a point of gender inequality, where women, due to the lack of knowledge, they stray out from the path. They are not able to look for jobs because of problems in their bodies. So first and foremost, we must be well acquainted with what our body needs, and that is one way of achieving gender equality and beating all the inequalities. And lastly, I think that there are certain vulnerable genders in our country, and we see these genders in our household. I hate to say this, but at some point of time in our life, we have seen an instance of domestic violence, be it around us, be it in our friend circles. We have seen people flinch from the patriarchal figures, like okay, I need to go home, dekh 9 baj gaye hain, my father is calling. He would be very angry. and you do not know what would be the consequences if you went home late. And you often see that your father or somebody else scolds your mother, and there are certain disparities in how the women in our family are treated. So these are the vulnerable genders, plus there are genders which are not acknowledged by the law. And see, as a country, India, we are the country which wrote the Kama Sutra. So we have the paintings in Ajanta and Ellora where there are depictions of women in postures that are freeing, and we have explored women's body through our literatures and texts. So I think that we should promote this point of equality, that proper healthy conversations within families, so that we can encourage gender equality. And even in schools we should have proper conversations.
I'm sorry, Abira, I'm interrupting you. I think I can't hear you. You're not audible to me.
Yeah, I think there's a problem
Yeah,
with the mic. Even I
yeah.
couldn't hear you.
Say one. Unmute your mic. Unmute the mic. Your mic Oh, I can't hear you. Okay. Is it finished or you want to say anything else? Okay. Okay. So it was a really great speech I ever heard. Yeah, like seriously, I really like your aspect and the solutions you have given. So I can totally relate with your views. Thank you so much, Abira, for such a nice and such a knowledgeable speech you have presented. Next up, we have Hina. She's from Ananda Engineering College, and she's also going to present a speech for the company. Thank you, Hina. Just give a brief introduction about yourself, and whenever you are comfortable, just speak.
Hello, good evening. I, Hina Manwani, I am pursuing BBA from Anand Engineering College, a part of SGI Agra. Shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
I, Hina Manwani, would like to express my views on the topic gender equality in education. An equitable education system provides all students the basic academic knowledge and skills they need to engage to become the productive members of society. More importantly, an equitable start without gender discrimination would lead to better economic and social outcomes for individuals, for region, for nation at large. Gender equality is achieved when men and women, girls and boys have equal rights, equal opportunities, life prospects, and the power to shape their minds and contribute to society. If gender discrimination still prevails, it would lead to an unhealthy nation where the equality of men and women, which is a fundamental human right and essential element of democracy, is not really practiced and followed. We dreamed of a society where youth would contribute to the nation and be the upholding pillars supporting the tomorrow's society. And the effective approach for such a society when is only possible when girls and boys have equal opportunities to enroll and access school, as well as benefit from learning and understanding of values. Society cannot thrive unless the girls and boys, men and women, have equal opportunities and have quality education, which can shape their minds and contribute to society. More importantly, society cannot thrive if people are not educated, if young people and children does not have quality education. It expands life choices and values, and thereafter promote national development. Before the 21st century, women have faced many obstacles when trying to gain equality. But trying to gain equality, like women were generally treated as the weaker sex and were not being considered as capable or as educated as men. Uh, so it is our duty to incorporate into education the knowledge the feminists have gathered into on their contribution, and it is also very much required to change and improve the position of women in change and change and improve the position of women in society and education, thus by treating both genders as equal and promoting gender equality in education. uh, our Indian subcontinent would have been emerging as a powerful nation since women began playing a significant role in today's society. And thereafter, we can also take an effort to just by promoting gender equality and treating both genders as equal. Thus, I conclude my topic by saying that we should consider gender equality in education as a part of overall strategy for a democratic nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Hina. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Anjali Joshi. She's from Gagi College and she's going to present her views on gender equality in education. Hi, Anjali. Anjali, can you please switch on your camera? Hello. Yeah, we can see you.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Gender equality means when people of all the gender are given equal opportunity, responsibility, and rights. Whereas gender equality in education means when people, irrespective of their gender, are given equal access to education to utilize their full potential, the range of subjects, the range of studies, and the learning experiences, learning experiments should provide equal benefit and opportunity to all the individuals. So why the girl gender is the most restricted gender not only in India but all over the world to take their fundamental right, that is gender equality in education. So hello everybody, here I Anjali speaking over the topic gender equality in education. Let's begin. Investing in girls' education transforms individuals, communities, countries, and the entire world. If a girl would be educated, especially in India, she is less likely to get married earlier and more likely to lead a healthy and a financial productive life. If a girl would be educated, she would be able to earn a good income and able to take part in decision making and will able to make a future at a better place for herself and of course for her family. Investing in girls' education strengthens economies and reduces inequality. It also contributes to a society which is stable and resilient to all the individual, whether it is a male or a female or a girl or a boy. And this promotion of the girls' education would consequently reduce the burden on the males to take care of their families to financially support them alone. So there are many benefits. Let's see some benefits of educating girls. First of all, strengthening of the economies and advances in tackling the poverty or ending the poverty. Reduction in the child mortality rate, reduction in the maternal mortality rate are dramatically increasing the lifetime earning of the girl, reduction in the early child marriages, especially for the girls, and many more like this. Despite all these benefits, still 129 million of the girls all over the world are being kept away from taking their educational rights, including 32 millions in the primary and 30 millions from the secondary. And only 49% of the countries all over the world are able to achieve a gender parity in primary education, that is 42% in the secondary and 24% in the upper secondary. So what are the reasons for this low level of educational development, not only in India, but all over the world? So there are many like gender-based violence, a lack of awareness, lack of financial resources, especially in the middle class families, preference to some education over the girls, and many more. So an international institute, UNICEF, has worked with government communities and partners all over the world to remove the barriers in girls' education and to promote equality in girls' education. because they see this as a they see this as a strategy to they see this as a strategy to develop the economy all over the world. Hence, they prioritize their efforts to enable the girl to complete at least their secondary education so that they could be in the future earning a financially stable life. So gender discrimination, especially in India, is being the major root cause and a consequence of the deep-rooted disparities between the girls and boys, and hence the gender should be integrated from the integrated from the beginning, from the childhood learning to the higher education, from the informal teaching to the formal teaching, from in building the infrastructure to the teacher training. A nation could only progress if it provides equal opportunity to both its male and female. If I talk about India, India has achieved 108th ranking out of 149 countries in the Economic World Forum of Gender Gap ranking, and this immense gap is a major concern because it shows the opportunity available to all the individuals, whether it is a male or female in our country. So, at last, I want to end this by saying that it is a high time where the implementation of the girls' education should be seen as an important issue because in this world, every individual, whether it is a male or a female, have a right to feel strong and feel free to choose their own destiny. And education is the only transformative factor to change the country, to transform a country, to transform the thinking of an individual, and to transform a nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali. Thank you so much. We are in 2021, and there is such a huge gap in girls' education. So, thank you so much for presenting such a good facts. And next up, we have Gaurav. He's from Saint Xavier's High School, and he's going to present his views on gender equality and girls' education. Gaurav, can you hear me? Thank you, Gaurav. Just give a brief introduction about yourself and start whenever you feel comfortable. Gaurav, your mic is mute. Unmute yourself.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Masarang Sharma I'm pursuing class 11 arts, student of arts in St. Xavier's High School, Bilaspur. So I'm here to talk about the gender equality in education beyond he, she, and they in education. So let's begin. What is gender equality in education? It doesn't mean only sending girls and boys to schools in his education and educating them. By education is for all, right? So by only sending girls and boys to schools and educating them, in our Indian Constitution, the fundamental right, the right to education, is for all. In the transgenders are not educated. Why? Are they not humans? So I'm here to tell the correct definition of the journal. Gender equality in education means equality in education. It should be given to everybody in the country, in the world. There should be no discrimination on this. Shortly, he, she, or they are all equal. What is the importance of gender equality in education? The equality of educational opportunity will ensure rapid advancement nation. When the people have opportunities to get education, they will have a chance to develop their natural talent and thus enrich the society. So now let's talk about the problems faced by the girls, boys, and the transgenders due to this gender inequality in the education. Let's start it with a girl. So girls are now not educated due to some problems. They are being told to do domestic work and forced for the marriages. In India, over 23 million girls are out of school, which is a very shameful thing for us. And there is no room for education in our India. So, in the world, two-thirds illiterate people in the world are female. That is, world 774 million illiterate adults. Illiteracy of women keeps households in a cycle of poverty. These problems can be fixed by educating girls, explaining the importance of education for girls to the families. Good education provides career opportunities to women, promotes economic growth in the country, reduces poverty. Educating girls will help them gain confidence and to be strong, not the weaker one. And also explaining boys that they are not the superior or the stronger than girls, they both are equal. Schools should also teach these all norms to the students. This will reduce cases of assaults. We all have heard about Savitribai Phule. She was an Indian activist, reformer, and a poet from Maharashtra. She is regarded as the first female teacher of India and proved it that if a girl gets an opportunity, can fly high in the sky. So now I'm here with the let's talk about the problem of transgenders. What should I talk actually? Education for transgender. They are not even given a proper place in our society. They are completely neglected. What happened if they don't have a single sex? They don't have a single sex. It's not their fault. They are made by God. Then why they are punished? If the country supports them, then they will touch the sky. Actually, they're treated like that. They are not humans. I heard talking many people in India that they are not earning money, always asking for money. Why is this so? Because of us. We are dominating them. We are separating them from our society. If they will be taught, they will definitely fill the country with proud. And if I have you heard about the Nartaki Natraja, the first transgender to be awarded Padma Shri. She's also a transgender activist working for the upliftment of the community and being a beacon of inspiration, not just for them, but all of us. As my opinion, boys do have problems due to the gender inequality in education. They are taught from the childhood that they are the stronger mentality until they become an adult. They think that they have a right to do anything as they are not stronger one, which is not good. And one thing, me as a boy have a personal experience that some teachers are partial to girls. According to them, always the problems are created by boys. So if there will be gender equality in education, the world will shine like a sun. I am going to end my speech with a lovely poem I found in Hindi. जमाने चलो बदलते हैं एक नए दुखी हो चलते हैं जीवन की कुछ के अपने हैं इस बात को मानते हैं पुकार को सुनते हैं चीख को नहीं ललकारते परंपरा के आवरण में छुपकर हर भेद को बांटते हैं उड़ान से लिंग का रिश्ता क्या ऐसे प्रश्न खुद से पूछते हैं मेरा सच और सच्चाई के अंतर को पहचानते हैं निरंतर समाज को सृष्टि के लिए निरंतर कदम उठाए हैं Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Garan, for such a beautiful poem. And also, we always forget about the transgender. So, thank you for bringing this up. Next up, we have Sagar Sharma. He's from GSS School, and now he's going to present his views on the topic. Sagar, could you please switch on your camera? कैमरा ऑन कर सकते हो आप अपना हेलो सागर आप मुझे सुन सकते हो I think he's facing some network issue. Okay, then we move forward. Okay, now we have Manjot with us, and she's from Ryan International School, and she's also going to present her views in the topic. Thank you, Manjot.
Am I perfectly
Just,
audible and visible?
yeah, you're audible. Just give a brief introduction about yourself and start whenever you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So, hi everyone, my name is Manjot Kaur and I'm a student of class 12 Humanities from Ryan International School, Chandigarh. So now I'll begin. When the sun rises, it rises for all. So good afternoon everyone present here. My name is Manjot Kaur and today I'm going to present my views on a very sensitive topic, gender education beyond he, she and they. So the topic is very sensitive, yet a very, very important topic. And that is precisely why I'm wearing this top, this pride top, if you can see it. So yeah. So in this today's my speech, I'm only going to share my experiences, my observation, which I felt as a kid and now as a teen and as a senior of class 12. So I would start with from class 4th or 5th. So when I was young, I observed that the girls, they are ought to bring that pink, purplish lace bags and pouch, whereas the boys always bring that cool black brown kind of very weighted pouch, weighted bags and all. So I said okay, if that is their choice. So one day when I brought that black color bag of my brother, and I used to get trolled for that. Why I'm getting trolled for this bringing a bag to a school? So I asked my friends, I asked people like, why are you commenting on my bag? So what they used to say that the answer was just as simple as you would think. Girls should always surround themselves with pretty pink, pastel, purple colors. And just to mention, I was only 9 or 10ish, so I agreed. I go, okay. So then I asked my dad to bring me 3 pouch, one pink, one purple, and one yellow, pretty. Okay. Then we moved on to our class 8th or 9th, and then that is the stage when we have a big transformation, a big one, when that puberty, maturity, all that hormones, and we get to know more about the world. We experiences many things. So now that stage came, and in that stage, like we are always on our edge. Like you just say something, and we will react in a very big way. That is for all, like for all, be anyone. So there was this, there was always this kind of a mentality of teachers, I would say, in school that whenever a boy used to cry, then she would always say, why are you crying like girls? Are you a girl? Why are you crying? No, so that what triggers me. Like, why are you referring boy to a girl just because of he's crying? Why? That is like, you are teaching us now. I'm not going to mention the name, but she was our sociology teacher, our SST teacher. She was teaching us gender equality, and the boy started crying because of that he was an athlete. So he got just a random pain and he started crying, and the teacher said, why are you crying like girls? Now the question remains, like, are you a hypocrite? You are teaching us about gender equality and now you're saying that why are you crying like a girl? What is this? So after that, I never paid attention to that mom's class because she was only saying these kind of things. So then again, that it was all that then this thing came, Pinterest, which taught us a very different thing. Pinterest, you search on Pinterest, what do you search? Aesthetic girls, aesthetic pictures, aesthetic wallpapers. What is that aesthetic word? The correct definition of aesthetic is to find beauty in each and everything. And you are writing aesthetic pink wallpapers for girls, aesthetic black wallpapers, cool aesthetic black wallpapers for boys. What is that? So that is the thing which which a person is always getting confused, because this was the age when me and everyone got confused and we were always in our own isolated view. So now, so yeah, then 9th, 10th passed, and now in my class 11th and 12th. So here I would talk about specifically the transgender, the they group. Whenever I was a child, I was always taught about these differences from being a boy, being or a girl. I was always taught that how girls used to fight for their suffrage and then they achieved it, and how boys, like, it was a very triggering thing that all the leaders, all that national leaders, whenever I ask you a question, name one national leader, what comes to your mind? Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru. Any female leader comes to your mind? Name a worldwide leader, national leader. What will Nelson Mandela? So that was question me, but the questions is the thing which always remained inside me. So I never question anyone because I thought that it will then question my ethics, my value, my moral. So I just went on with that. So now when I always taught about this he and she, I always knew about this concept. My parents taught me, my friends taught me, my environment, each and everyone who would come and they would taught me and they will go leave. So for the trans, I never ever in my life, nobody taught me that what is trans. No one. Like when I came to this Insta and all, so there I came to know about this trans, that I would seriously tell you that I never knew that this transgender. I always knew that this is some kind of a thing, but I never knew it in so deep. And from getting using internet, and there itself I got to know about this transgender, which I'm talking about. Like you're talk no one in the, I would say, in my whole life taught me about this transgender. No one ever taught me that what is good for this, what is bad for them, or what is this. So I have to always go to internet and then question and then write that what is this. It means that I have to gain my own knowledge here. Why is this so? Is this what you call the gender education which you're providing us? I'm a 21st century Gen Z and I don't know about transgender. You never taught me. I have to look on the internet myself and get to know, get to used to it, so that I cannot go on this and just go on and live in this society. I have to work hard for getting knowledge about this genders. Why? Is this what you're talking about? The gender education? Is this the he, she, and they? And I would also like to mention about the democracy. I believe that we are living in a very hypothetical democracy in which we are talking about. We gain democracy, but only for politics. We didn't gain any social democracy. No, never. What you're talking about? A trans has to hide his identity so that he won't be get judged. A girl has to hide her pad, and a boy has to hide her cry, so that he won't be judged that he is crying. Is this what you call a personality of a person? Is this what you call a social justice, a social freedom for a person? That you have to hide and you have to always keep that pretty smile on your face so that you can face the world. That is such a hypothetical situation, and that in this environment, I cannot live with it. So here I would just ask you, tell to each and every person that question. If you feel that this is a discrimination, question, because people, you have a right to question. If you are questioning, no one can ask you why are you questioning. You have a right, person, you question it, you use your right. We got our independence, and if you're not going to use it, then who will come and use it? So question yourself, why are there so many bullying cases for trans? Why are there, like, we always know about he, she, and we always know that girls were bullied. So now that era is over because we know that girls are coming out. We have many like PV Sindhu, they are always supporting. Then we have many other politicians. The girls are moving further. Trans are not coming further. They are getting bullied. Come further. Come step, so that society will get to know you. Society will get to know you about what, and no one will be there to touch you. Keep that in mind. So I would just again say that question each and every person. Question your parents. Why am I supposed to wear pink? Why I can't wear black? Question why I'm supposed to wear a nail paint. Question question why can't I keep my hairs long? What is the reason behind it? Why? Trans question. Who are you to tell me what I should wear? So here I would just like to end with a very, very famous yet motivating quote. I'm willing to be seen. I'm willing to speak up. I'm willing to keep going. I'm willing to listen what others have to say. I'm willing to go bed each night at peace within myself. I'm willing to be my biggest, bestest, and most powerful self. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manju. Thank you so much. It's a very, very strong speech by you, and it's high time we should change the stereotypes set by our society. And now, from today onwards, I'm also going to question each and everyone while I have to do this. Thank you so much for inspiring me a lot. Next up, we have Vidisha. Vidisha, could you please switch on your camera?
Hi.
Hi, Vidisha. Okay, she is from DAV Public School, and she is going to present her views for removing the taboos set by the society. Thank
Yeah.
you, Vidisha. Just give a brief introduction about yourself.
Very good evening, everyone. I am Vidisha and I'm in 11th standard. I'm a humanities student. Well, it's really nice to see some people again whom I know through VOS competition and listening and understanding new perspective as well. Let's coming towards a topic. The topic is gender equality in education. So first of all, when we think about education, now the first term which comes into my mind, what is that? School, of course. So let's start from school only. So these are some points which we can say कि हम बहुत कम नोटिस करते हैं बट वो बहुत ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट डालती है हमारे ऊपर. फर्स्ट लेट मी टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ बुक. हमारी बुक में क्या लिखा होता है? इफ यू हैव हर्ड अबाउट यू नो सोशल स्टडीज की किताब में होता है हमारे दिस इज नेचुरल एंड दिस इज मैन मेड. कभी आपने सोचा नहीं, लाइक आई ऑलवेज वंडर अबाउट इट, व्हाई वी ऑलवेज से मैन मेड, व्हाई इट कांट बी ह्यूमन मेड और पीपल मेड, व्हाई इट कांट बी वुमेन मेड, हमेशा मैन मेड क्यों? Now think about the child who is sitting there and visualizing कि हाँ man made है तो उसे क्या लगेगा कि man ने बनाया है, एक आदमी ने बनाया है, not a woman. Secondly, there is another some word like chairman. Nowadays people are starting saying chairperson, but earlier they used to say chairman. क्यों chairman, क्यों chairwoman, क्यों नहीं? Same in mankind. Why we are adding man in it? Why it is mankind? Why we can't just say humanity? So there are several words which actually we don't keep a notice on them, but they impact us so much. And let me tell you an incident from our school. What happened? I was in 8th or 9th standard, I guess. So we were sitting and my ma'am asked for 4 strong boys. She was like, हमें एक डेस्क को एक जगह से दूसरी जगह शिफ्ट करना है. So I need 4 strong boys. And I felt like, why she called boys? Aren't girls strong enough? मतलब उन्होंने लड़कों को ही क्यों बोला कि आपको एक डेस्क को दूसरी जगह शिफ्ट करना है? लड़कियां भी तो हो सकती है ना. And as there are some people who are teacher also, so when we, let's say in a class, when we count the children, like we have 40 students, so somewhere we categorize them. 40 students, that means 20 girls and 20 boys. Why you are categorizing them? Why we are not just watching them as an individual? Why we are, you know, watching them and categorizing them on the basis of their genders? कि इतना 20 लड़के हैं और 20 लड़कियां. And let's talk about professions and positions also. You all know about Indira Gandhi, right? So Indira Gandhi ke bare mein what we always learn, Indira Gandhi was the first lady prime minister. She was the Iron Lady. Of course, this sentence gives us empowerment. If women can be a very great leader, but can't we normalize it? जैसे हम नेहरू जी के बारे में बोलते हैं that नेहरू जी was our first prime minister. क्या हम have you ever heard this कि नेहरू जी was our first male prime minister? कभी आपने सुना है मेल प्राइम मिनिस्टर? सो व्हाई कांट वी नॉर्मलाइज इट? तो हम फीमेल प्राइम मिनिस्टर क्यों बोलते हैं? सो देयर आर सो मेनी टर्म्स इन आवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स व्हिच नीड टू बी चेंज, क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट करती है हमारे ऊपर. If we are talking about colors, and as other participants also said, colors and this you know, why you are crying like a child, why are you crying like a girl, and लड़के रोते नहीं है, ये चीज तो मुझे बहुत बकवास लगती है. अगर कोई कहता है ना, even in my house also, I have a younger brother, so my parents are like, why you are crying like a girl, and now they got to know कि अगर हम ये चीज इसके सामने बोलेंगे तो मैं बहुत गुस्सा करती हूँ कि no, you can't say cry like a girl. लड़कों के अंदर भी सेम इमोशंस होते हैं जो लड़कियों के अंदर होते हैं. Keeping that physical changes apart, we all are equal. Now talking about transgenders, ये तो taboo है ही है. Oh my god, he is lesbian. Oh my god, he's gay. He is a bisexual. कितना गलत है. पाप हो गया क्या? I was watching this post. I was using my mama's Facebook. So there was this post by Brat India. So in which Sonam Kapoor was expressing her views on gay, transgenders and bisexuals, and she was saying it's normal. It is accepted by our constitution also. So why we are not? Or when I scrolled the comment section, na, people were like, ladka and ladki are there just to give pleasures to each other. How could be a girl and a girl, and how could it be a boy and a boy? And I was like, oh my god. Matlab, hamari generation is somewhere thinking about it, but the older generation is rigid about their thoughts, which is not good at all. Even in our books also. We always learn about two genders, he and she. And we always learn about two sexualities, right? Why we don't learn about other sexualities? Why we don't speak about gay, lesbians, transgenders, bisexuals? Why we are not talking about sexualities then? And if it comes to, like, let me tell you an incident. I was in 8th standard when I got this topic of menstruation, and our teacher was feeling shy to share this menstruation process, and she actually try to skip it, and she was like, जब लड़के थोड़े कम होंगे तब हम इस टॉपिक के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. उस टाइम पर I was also feeling shy कि नहीं, menstruation के बारे में, periods के बारे में, no, we will not say. But now when I used to think, I was like, how dumb I was. What I was thinking at that moment is, क्यों we are creating this taboo. So ये सारी चीजें मिटती भी एजुकेशन की वजह से ही है. If we have the power of education in ourselves, we will definitely can banish these stereotypes and taboos. But कहीं ना कहीं education भी तो उस चीज को promote कर रही है. तो वो जो चीजें हैं हमें उन्हें change करना है, and that is very important. I hope you all are able to get the point which I'm saying, and with this I want to end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vidisha. Thank you so much. I totally relate with you, and it's high time we should normalize things. Okay, so I would like to request Cheryl to take over this. Over to you, Cheryl.
Thank you so much, Mansi. So I think till now it's been a great conversation and everybody's expressed themselves so well. I mean, it's very nice that people are having similar views and everything. It's very nice. So let's move on with the event. And the next contestant, the participant we have is Sandhya Ray. She's a principal at GPS school. Ma'am.
I think she left the meeting. You can call the next.
Okay. No, but I think she was showing here. So we next, I think we have Mr. Yashas, who is doing BSc from DBS College. Yashas, could you please switch on your camera? Yeah, whenever you feel comfortable, you can start. Yashas, you're on mute. You can please unmute yourself.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Namaskaram, everyone. Can I start the speech?
Yeah, sure.
Hello. Yes. Okay. My name is Yashas. I'm studying in BSc, DBS College, Shivamogga. If talking about the gender equality, first we have to know what is gender equality. It is just an imaginary line or boundary we are made for ourselves or around us. Like we are making, it is not actually present anyway. Just we are making it. Just we are making some kind of limitation for men's, women's, and transgender. So what need to change in this society is nothing. Just we need to change ourselves. The society will change automatically. And the most important thing is, I will give you an example. Like some kind of work is limited to men and some kind of work is limited to women. I don't know why they are thinking that this work has to be done by men and this work has to be done by women. It is actually not right, because the main thing is the work has to be done. The work has to be done. It's not by men or women. But we are thinking that we are only making that. We are hesitating to do some kind of work, like men has to not do cooks.
I think he's having some kind of a network issue. I think he just left the meeting. Or
Hello.
is this yeah, you're back. Yes, you're audible. You can continue.
Okay. Like we are making that in the school, especially coming to the gender equality in the school. In the school, no one is making that this Like we are telling that many of us, I heard many of them are telling that if we bring the pink color, yeah, they laugh at us. Yes, actually they laugh in any field. If we do something special, which has not happened till this day, they will laugh at us. But if we have the courage.
I think again he's having some network issue. We can wait for him if he's rejoining. Yeah, he's joined.
Sorry,
It's okay.
sorry.
Just continue.
I'm telling that they are doing, if we take the pink color, if we do something which boys are doing till this day, girls will and everyone will laugh at us. Actually, it's a right. It's not. I'm not telling it's a wrong thing. People are always like that. If anything happens to you, if anything that does not exist till now, but we are doing that means everyone will laugh at us. Actually, it's not a special thing. But if you have the guts feeling, if you know it's a correct thing I'm doing, means why you are thinking that they laugh.
He's having some serious network issue.
They
Yeah.
they're lim- they're limiting themselves. One thing the human does not know is and uh, genders is there is no point of gender. We have to think of, we have to do some kind of work. That's it. We have to do the work with some fulfilling means there is no need of gender. And the most important, Sadhguru says one quote that is, I liked it very much. Rather than trying to fit a woman into a men's world, we must create a society where the masculine and feminine have the equal role to play. Here, no thing for men or women or transgender. Just if we do our level best, there is no need of anything. And another thing is, once you have clear about what you are doing and why other people opinion will no matter for us. Sadhguru is saying that. So I think if we go on this path, there is no gender inequality in the education system. So don't be afraid of this work has to be done by men, this work has to be done by women in the schools and college. You have to, if you are willing, it will possible. And I'm telling for all the students and teachers, don't be like fit for some work has to be done by men, some work has to be done by women. Just work has to be done. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for me giving me an opportunity to speak. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Yashish. It was wonderful listening to you. And yes, work has to be done. It's not like men has to it or the woman has to it. The work has to be done. Thank you so much, Yashish. It was wonderful. Next up, we have Gauri. She's a science student at Vartak College. Gauri. Gauri, am I audible to you?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're completely audible, Gauri. You can just give a brief about introduction about yourself and start with it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Gauri, and I am a science student at Vartak College, and I'm here in Mumbai. And so I guess I'll start now. So, as my other fellow participants, I have not prepared a speech as such. These are just some thoughts that I have gathered, and I would like to voice them out. So, I'm going to start with something very basic, which is education. I believe is not just key in a school environment. I feel like especially in this day and age, media plays a big role when it comes to education. Like it's not just कि जो हम books में पढ़ते हैं वो education है हमारा. And I think media also in that way plays a big role in enforcing these gender rules on us and enforcing this gender inequality on us. So now you might ask how. So in a lot of movies and stuff, abhi to change ho raha hai with OTT platforms and everything coming up. But we see ki the woman is usually, made the abla nari, and she has to have this perfect body. She has to have this. She has to fit into this man's mold. She has to be, uh, she shouldn't say anything controversial, and she has to be very, she has to be very picture perfect, if I can say that, for a man. I mean, of course, the thing comes in not all men. I'm not attacking men or anything. This is just me trying to voice what I've seen. And that is one thing. And the second thing that I have seen is that whenever you see, even in these serials, which I think the main reason that the generation above us are not Gen Z, like the Gen Xers and the Gen Y and stuff, why they are so conditioned towards feeling like, women need to do housework, या women घर का ही काम करते हैं, क्योंकि उनको they have not known better. मतलब अगर उनको स्कूल में भी, उनको घर में भी, उनको सीरियल में भी वही दिखाते हैं कि लड़की बहू है, लड़की को घूंघट पहनना है, लड़की को सिर्फ काम ही करना है किचन में. उसको if she goes out and if she starts working, she's a rebel and she's a controversial girl and she's a bad girl if she does stuff that if men do, it's like ठीक है, मतलब men कर रहे तो wow great, but women कर रही तो she's a rebel. So that is one thing which I think comes mainly from the media. Second thing I would like to talk about is sex education in schools. So sex education in schools, I would say कि at least in my school, it was really limited. The teacher was even afraid to say the word condom. She just kept saying mechanical barrier. And I was like, it's literally written on the book, you can say it, but fine. And I think that is where it all begins, because sex education, if I'm talking about transgender people and stuff, to pehle, actually I wanted to say one more thing. Sorry, I forgot. I'm switching a lot of sides, but I think it's important to say. A lot of people said कि transgender है, so it's not their fault or something, and that they are born this way, which I think, and it's like they don't have a single sex. ऐसे कुछ ऐसे नहीं होता है. Like that's a bit of a misconception कि what is transgender and gay, lesbian and everything. I just wanted to clear that out because I did research on it. But anyway, so transgender is somebody, for example, me, when I was born, I was assigned female at birth rate because I had genitals of that of a conventional female. But if I grow up and in my head, my gender identity is male or my gender identity is not female, I don't, like as a girl, now I'm a girl, I feel like a girl. But there are many people who are born a girl and they don't feel like a girl. So then they can go through surgery and stuff, and that is transgender. So I just, unka bhi ek rehta hai. They also have he and she. It's not that transgender are completely they. They are also he and she. And they is gender fluid. So like gender is a spectrum, और उसमें बीच में भी आते हैं they, which people feel like, we neither adhere to female or non to male. So hum they hai. I just wanted to clear that out. So in sex education in schools, they is a very, it's a very controversial topic, I would say, because, for example, if like I am a transgender, I do not know anything, like nothing is being taught to me which is relevant to me in schools when it comes to sex education. Like, matlab, mujhe kya karna chahiye? How do I prevent myself from getting STDs? How do I prevent myself from, anything like teen pregnancy, anything? We are not teaching them in that way ki agar if somebody is transgender or something, it doesn't relate to them. That is one thing. And also secondly, when it comes to menstruation, I think somebody mentioned before me as well, when it comes to menstruation, it was taught in such a secluded manner ki, like guys were not taught about it at all pehle to, and only girls were taught about it. And the thing is that guys should also know about it, because many guys, they have women in their lives too who menstruate, or I should say people in their lives who menstruate, because not everyone who menstruates identifies as a girl. So I would definitely say ki it's very, I sort of found it very weird when it happened, because I was like, everyone should be sort of here. And even when they were talking about menstruation, they sort of talked about it in a way where it was like, he was trying to preach, it is like, you should try to stay like this, or you should try to stay like this, or do certain things when you're on your period. Or even in my family, like I was told, when you're on your period, you should not visit temples, or you should not, go in the kitchen or stuff like that, which I really don't think is, I think it really promotes like the gender equality in girls, because it's like, that is not my fault. Like I am just menstruating, like, that sort of stuff really, I think, affects somebody. And the third thing that I would like to touch upon in my speech is, as somebody said, terminology is very important. So I feel like anywhere you go, anywhere you see, the terminology is always that of a man, or is always that of a male. Like it's never in poetries, in stories, or even when you're writing something, you always write, so he was. You never write she was or something. You always write he was. And that sort of makes you feel like, like I always used to ask the teacher, teacher ये she क्यों नहीं हो सकता? तो she's like, I always, मतलब the teacher used to say कि it's not given ना, so it is presumed that it is he. So I was like, why is it presumed that it is he only? It can be she also. Like, you should give a choice and then kids can choose. And that was sort of like, the terminology is always kind of, like if it's a delivery guy also, and if it's somebody is riding a rickshaw or something, it's always the terminology is always, it's really disturbing and triggering to me. I just do not like the terminology at all. And one more thing I would like to touch upon is colors, of course. Like something so basic as colors, and something so basic as, clothing is also gendered, which is like, it is honestly foolish to me. Like, for example, if a guy wants to wear a skirt and if a girl wants to wear a pants, so they're called rebels and stuff, or they're trying to overact, they're trying to oversmart the society. But I just feel like they're just expressing themselves, and if people just saw them for who they are, then it will sort of, tie into something else. And I feel like all of this can change, and all of this can be enforced if we start from the grassroots level, which is education in schools, and education from elders, teachers, and those authorities that we look up to. I think if they started raising their voice and saying it is okay, and they started having a very big curriculum which included all sorts of genders, which included, it was not just that a girl has to do this or a girl has to do that, or a guy has to be like this or a guy has to be like that. If it included everything, I would like to say then I think there would be a change. And yeah, I guess I would just like to end my speech there.
Thank you so much, Gauri, and I really relate to you very much, because yes, when we were told about menstruation during the school, only the girls were kept in a room and boys were like asked to move out. Why not? Why should not they listen to it? Even they have women in the house, and why can't they listen about and get educated? So that is very right, and everything starts at home and school. So thank you so much, Gauri, for joining us. And I think we have Sagar. Sagar, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? He didn't get a chance when his name was taken. Sagar, are you there? Uh, I think he has a network issue. I think we can just wind up everything, right? So thank you to all the contestants for joining today and sharing themselves and their views about this topic. And thank you so much, Mansi and Archie and Bhumika. Uh, Over to you, Archie and Bhumika.
On behalf of the anchoring team of Sarkari School, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants for their enthusiastic participation and raising their voice on such an important topic. The opinions, poems, and your personal experience shared by you all were really insightful and a great source of learning for us.
Yeah, and I would also like to thank Mansi and Cheryl for moderating this event, and all the members of the anchoring team who worked really hard to make this event a success. Furthermore, I'd like to thank our team leaders, Vidya and Jagriti, for their constant support and guidance. At last, I'd like to thank Abhishek sir, the founder of Sarkari School, for constantly supervising and inspiring us at every point of time. So thank you all once again for sparing out your time and joining this event.
Thank you, Archie. Thank you, Bhumika.